we need to talk about the Nintendo Today app because I thought that this was going to be a little bit better than what it has become, and Nintendo really hyped us up for seemingly nothing. So I want to talk about the Nintendo Today app. I'm going to have a look at it, and we're just going to have a peek at what it's become, how it's changed, and all that good stuff. So I'm just gonna boot it up and have a look at it. It's kind of running a little bit slow on my phone. I had to go back in time and get an old phone out because the phone that I did have got water damage. It's actually insane how this happened. And I'm actually waiting for a brand new phone. Regardless, I'm using this old phone. It might be a little bit slow. So you're gonna have to bear with me here. If you're wondering why it got water damaged, I was on this boat and there was a bunch of water in the boat. It's a long story, but anyways, it was not the winner in that battle. Regardless, the Nintendo Today app, I meant, not the music app. We've already looked at that one. Nintendo, when they announced the Today app, I thought it was going to be, a little bit more than it eventually became. They said they were going to be giving us a ton of announcements and all that stuff. And at first, I actually believed it because on day one of this app coming out, they released a release date for the Legend of Zelda movie. So after they announced that on the Nintendo Today app, everyone was just kind of like, okay, wait, this is going to be bigger than most people expected. They're going to give us some big news. They're going to announce new things on a monthly basis, a weekly basis even. And they even announced a couple other things like, the release date for Dragon Drive, and stuff like that. But recently, in the last 2 months, I just haven't found myself going on it, except from when they announce like a Nintendo Direct early. That's really the only benefit that I've seen with this app so far. They'll announce a Nintendo Direct a couple hours early on the Nintendo Today app, as opposed to the, X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. But eventually it comes to Twitter anyways. Like, they're still using Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't care what you say. Like, almost everything on the Nintendo Today app that is important gets given to Twitter. So I really don't find a lot of what we're learning on the Nintendo Today app is even worth it. However, it is kind of fun to look at every once in a while, but not really stuff that I feel necessary to check in on every day. So they're doing this thing on a daily basis now, where they show the day of today, and then they say any game that released on that day. So today is November 30th. So they'll give a list of every single game that has ever released on September 30th. And it just so happens that today, the day I'm looking at it, they've never released a game on September 30th. So that's interesting. September 25th, look at this. They released a game on September 25th, which was Mario Kart Tour. On September 17th, in 2009, Endless Ocean released. 2015, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons released. These are just fun little things that I wouldn't think about. Like, I don't necessarily need to know on a daily basis how many games came out previously, but it is kind of interesting to look at. But then there's like some really weird, kind of goofy things that they add, like the let's see, Super Mario Enemies debut year. So for Mario's 40th anniversary, I guess they go literally that's it. They just show a little clip of the Goomba. There's no description or anything. Oh my goodness. You see what I mean? It's pretty bare bones. It says the first game that they're released in. Okay, and then you got Super Mario Power Up Illustrated or whatever like that. This is just tells you about some power-ups and the games that they've been in. Like, I don't know. I don't really care that much about a lot of the things they're showing here. Then there's some really hardcore things that they're sharing as well. Like, they're showing off the Jet copy ability for Kirby Air Riders, which is really cool. Oh, they showed DDD in the Jet costume and stuff like that. Emerald Rush Fundamentals. Okay, sure. I'm glad that they're continuously updating this app and showing off some new things about their games and all that fun stuff, and really giving us Nintendo fans every single thing. And like I said, sometimes it's interesting to check out, but I really don't care to check it out on a daily basis. I like the widget that you can have on your home screen, but the widget really tells me nothing aside from the date. Like, it just has a bunch of game logos on it. It's not really that interesting. At the very bottom, there's a news setting, and you can go through all of the news that's been going on for the last, since the app launched. They show off launch trailers, they show off all the little tiny clips, and they're fun to watch, and they're interesting. Nothing necessary though. I think they really wanted to do something with this app where you come back every day and there's, you can look at it in the morning for a couple minutes and get your Nintendo fill. One thing that Nintendo loves to do with their fans is remind you that they exist, and they want you to stay on their daily radar. That's why they did Alarmo. Every morning, if you see Nintendo Alarmo, you'll think about Nintendo. And that's what they kind of want to prioritize and what they're doing with this app. And it's working to a certain degree. The fact that there's a widget on my phone and I get to see a fun little animation of the numbered day it is with now Kirby, like it's epic. Oh yeah, they just added Kirby, by the way. They just added Kirby, and then you can do a bunch of different themes if you want. There's Legend of Zelda, Mario, Pikmin, which is the one I was using for quite a while, Platoon, but by far my favorite is absolutely Kirby. He's the best one out of them all. You can also link your calendar and it'll show you certain events that are going on that day. For example, the 29th, it says that they added Princess Peach Showtime to Nintendo Music. It shows you in-game tournaments like in Smash Bros. Ultimate. It talks about how there's new icon elements. Like, it says everything Nintendo. So if you're like a hardcore Nintendo fan, you might find some enjoyment out of it all, but I really don't find myself coming back to this app every day. Now, I do think they also want to pull from the hype cycle, like when Smash Bros. Comes out. If you remember back in the Smash Bros. 4 Wii U and 3DS games, they had something called Miiverse. And Miiverse was Nintendo's social media, which is kind of crazy that even existed. It's not a thing anymore, but if you were around during the Wii U, the 3DS era, you might be pretty familiar with the Miiverse concept. They really dug into that with a lot of games. Like as soon as you opened your Wii U, a bunch of Miiverse clips and people would show up. But speaking about that, in the Smash for Wii U and 3DS days, Sakurai would upload a new screenshot or some new information about the Smash Bros. Games, and I would actually tune in every single day to see what was new. Maybe there was a new veteran character announced. Maybe there was a presentation announced, or maybe it was just something as an item returning or something like that. But I was so locked into what that game had to offer, and the fact that they were giving us little tiny news every day, it was a really fun time. And I can see that they're doing that already with Nintendo Today app by doing that Sakurai thing and giving us a little detail about Kirby Air Riders every day. Like, I know that was Sakurai's idea. Like, it's obvious. No other game developer will put this much hype and care into the pre-release of a game. I've never seen it done like Sakurai has done it. So you can tell he wants to share something new about Kirby Air Riders every day until its release. He'll make it more and more information about the game, even silly quirky things like, King Dedede's jet ability look, like something as simple as that, or like the Starman character. It just shows a quick character trailer of what he does in game and how he looks in game. And they haven't even done that with other first-party games like Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, they do it, but not to the extent of Kirby Air Riders. But I can see them using it a little bit more for future games. Like, every day they give us something about Kirby Air Riders, and maybe a little bit about Metroid as well. Maybe they'll announce like the amiibo functionality for some new amiibo that are coming out. But this is going to be, I think, a very big app and used on the daily when Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch 2 eventually gets announced. I think that's when we can really start to see them push Nintendo Today even more, and I think they're just trying to put in place what they need to figure out first before that Smash Bros. Hype cycle comes up again, because it's going to come up, I almost guarantee it. But right now, I don't know, I don't find myself checking this on the daily basis. And when I do check it out, it's not because there was something announced for it, and it's not because they want to share something new or whatever. It's just because I'm bored and I see the widget and I'm like, I guess I'll check it out today. I'm really not getting much from this, but I do think there's a lot of potential for it, and I think they gotta just talk more. They gotta talk more about every upcoming game. Tomodachi Life. Can you imagine if they start talking about Tomodachi Life on that platform? I would check it every day for daily news on upcoming games. I feel like it's gotta happen. I know I ranted or rambled. I know I rambled quite a bit, but I really do think that Nintendo Today could be a decent app. They're just not really giving us much at the current time of its release. There's just not much about it that's very interesting, to be honest. But anyways, do you use this app? I gotta say, I think it's impressive how many people I've actually seen download this app and have a widget. Like, I hung out with my one friend who's not even really a Nintendo fan, and they had the Nintendo Today app, and I'm like, do you even use Nintendo? Like, do you even have a Nintendo Switch? They're like, nah, I just think it's interesting. I was like, what? Do you actually use it? And they said, I mean, every once in a while. And I'm like, do you even know what Kirby Air Riders is? They're like, not really, but it's interesting. I was like, okay, sure thing. You enjoyed it. Anyways, I'm surprised how many people have it. I'm curious to know what you think about it. If you think I should be checking it every day, or if you do check it every day. I gotta know why and what you like about it, what you don't like about it. I'm curious to know everyone's opinions and point of views. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe as well. All right, see you later.